This is my second time recording this. The last one ended up being over an hour long. This is an Underlord replay that we're looking at here. I'm a kind of new player. And my audio actually corrupted in the last one, and so I lost an hour of footage. So I'm just going to skim through this one a little bit quicker this time, hopefully. But anyway, let's go. So anytime that I start a game with Dota 2, first thing I look at is look at their draft, look at mine, look at the lane I'm going to be in, and figure out what items, how the game's going to go, how the lane's going to go. This comes with experience, so you'll get better at this the more you've played Dota. But as a new player, you should really just try to figure out who you're going to lane against for the most part and see what kind of damage people do. So Bristleback, that's physical only. PA, tons of physical. Wind Ranger's going to hit you a lot. She does do a lot of magical with it because she builds an MKB, but also physical, and DK right clicks you. So they really, at the start, almost no magic damage and lots of physical damage, and they want to hit you a lot. So immediately I look at this and I think armor's good. So Greaves, I think you end up going Greaves. Greaves is okay. I'm also looking at Blade Mail, because Blade Mail is very good against PA and Wind Ranger. And Heaven's Halberd is especially good this game because you can Halberd and Wind Ranger when she ults anyone. Like she goes on your Juggernaut with a Shackle Shot, you can just Heaven's Halberd her. Or PA jumps someone, you just Halberd her. It makes you a lot tankier as well because she doesn't like to build an MKB, neither does Dragon Knight. And it gives you some evasion in life, so it's always great. I don't think you're able to man fight them this game early on, so I would be hesitant to buy Pipe and Greaves and these like team fight items because it's going to be hard to man fight them. You know, when they have a Bristleback and a Dragon Knight, these heroes that really are super strong early game at like 25, 20 minutes. It's also a good Spirit Vessel game. But I don't know if Underlord can really squeeze that into a build sometimes. It can be difficult. But we'll see how it goes. So lane-wise, when I look at this, I'm thinking PA and Crystal Maiden most of the time. So anytime that I see PA and Crystal Maiden, or PA, rather, if I see a PA, a Bristleback, a Sky Wrath, what's another example? Any heroes like this where they spam abilities, you're going to want to get a Magic Stick. Trying to think of another example here. I guess those are the best examples, really. But Pugna's a good example. PA has a 6-second cooldown, 30 mana ability that does very low damage. Just buy a magic stick. It'll give you a ton of mana and health. I did the math before, and it's insane how much it gives you. So something that's a little inefficient and an efficiency thing, it's not really a big deal, but these little efficiencies do add up. You started with a Quelling Blade. What I've learned recently and has become more meta at higher MMRs is instead of starting with the Quelling Blade in your starting items, you're going to buy your stick first instead of this Quelling Blade. Looks like you might have some problems being able to afford it, but cut the mango, grab a magic stick, and then once you get bounties, buy a Quelling Blade and a mango. And the magic stick will hold you over if you can't afford the mango initially, because you get mana from it, and then you have an extra magic stick. 2 minutes in that you didn't have before. So that's great. I'm automatically looking at that. I love the Ring of Protection. The way that this lane's going to go is PA is going to spam dagger on you. She's going to slow you, and then they're both going to hit you. That's the only way you die, is you just get slowed to hell and hit 15,000 times. So the best way to combat that is just be impossible to hit and that be efficient for them. So Firestorm's great. They jump you and hit you. You just cast Firestorm, they can't hit you anymore. If they do hit you back, they're just going to take a ton of damage. It's not worth it for them. So Firestorm's great. I would be considering maxing Atrophy Aura because it's not great level 1, so I would probably go Firestorm level 1 just for help with the lane, but level 2 and 3 I'd be going Atrophy Aura, most likely. Depends on how the lane goes, because the only way I die is they hit me. This gives damage reduction, and it gives me more damage to hit them back. So I'd be considering it. Firestorm's always great though. It's just better for farming, but if you feel like you can own them in lane hard enough, Atrophy Aura can be great. Just completely zone out the enemy carry. It looks like a Drow support, which is interesting. The way you want to play this lane, most lanes really with Underlord, is you want to cast Firestorm on the creep wave and then stand in the middle of it. They can't hit you. Actually going to go into player perspective here. Something I wanted to point out. People at your MMR, it seemed like you may not even, you might be aware of this, I couldn't tell. Didn't get enough examples in this game, but if you look at this is an insanely good trade for you to hit him back. Just keep hitting him. You get this last hit, now start hitting him. Don't run away, hit him. They're playing aggressive, which is scary, I know. They're like trying to go on you, you're like, oh god, run away. But if you look, one more time I'm going to go back. You kill this creep, now look. For one, you have way more damage than her. You have like 8 damage more than her. Drow does 60 damage, Crystal Maiden does 47. You're already doing more damage than them. But on top of that, because they do have some spells they can throw in to offset that, this is a good trade, right-clicking them versus right-clicking you, because if you look, you have 2 creeps hitting PA. If she hits you back, that's an extra 40 damage. She's melee, so it's like a little bit less, like maybe 20, 25. But that makes you do like 90 damage a hit. This is such a good trade to take. Just keep hitting. And you recognize it, but you recognize it a little late. Here you back off. Just hit that's an extra hit or 2 on the Crystal Maiden. No, instead you just back off because you're scared they're running at you. But you can play aggressive if the creeps are hitting them. If creeps are hitting you, you gotta back off. If the creeps are hitting them, you can play aggressive. You can trade with them. Alright, here you cast Firestorm correctly. You cast it and then you stand in the middle so that they can't trade. But you do make a small mistake. Here, Tango, definitely Tango. You know they're gonna try and get you away from this creep wave. You're not full health. Did you eat a Tango? Maybe you did. I think you did. You still take a lot of damage. Eat another Tango. But the mistake you make is that you press Firestorm and then you aggro all the creeps. By trying to auto attack her there, you may have realized that that's why you turned around. But trying to auto attack her there, you're standing next to the whole creep wave. This is the downside. You can't hit them very easily anyway, unless they're standing right next to your creep wave too. So it's a balance. You want to stand in the Firestorm, but you also want to stand right next to your creeps. That way, if she hits you and you hit her, both creeps are hitting you. This way, all their creeps, this is 60 damage, 80 damage. They're doing that's an extra third hero hitting you right now, basically is what that is. Just imagine a third hero's right here hitting you. Because you aggroed all the creeps. If you just stood there, you would have taken like 100 less health. Your health would be up here. Like, doesn't that feel a lot better? Having health up here now? Now she gets free denies and stuff because you aggroed the creeps. So that's not great. But another thing to consider is whenever you do Firestorm, you want to be getting this range creep. Just stand here and hit the creeps during Firestorm. Your goal is to push the wave. I'd like to make a point about something else real quick. You saw that just then. Whenever you're playing these heroes, like Underlord, their kit is naturally great and naturally pushes the wave. It's naturally great at pushing waves, and it naturally pushes the wave on its own. No matter what you do, what that means is no matter what you do, you're going to be pushing the wave. Underlord is an example because his Q, it's almost always going to hit the creep wave. It's going to push it because it's hitting the creep wave. You have an aura you can't turn off. That affects creeps. And other examples of this, Tidehunter. Anchor Smash, that's how you win lane is Tidehunter normally. You just walk up, you anchor smash the hero and the creeps, you just farm that way. It's always going to push the wave. Jakiro and Coddle as well. They both have AoE, large AoE. It's hard not to hit creeps with abilities. That's why the new meta has been Chakra Magic, actually, with combos for a while, a couple patches ago. But these heroes naturally push the wave a lot. And so, but some heroes just can't help it. Underlord and Tidehunter are almost always just going to push the wave. If you get Cleave on spin, or Luna goes Glaives, Medusa goes Split Shot, it's automatically going to push the wave pretty hard. Sandstorm on Sand King, especially the example. So the best examples would be Tidehunter, Sand King, and Underlord. You're just going to push the wave no matter what you do. On these heroes, when you pick these heroes, the key to playing these heroes well in lane and gaining 2,000 MMR when doing this is right here. That's it, right there. This camp is so insanely important and so game winning on these heroes. I don't even know. It's just so good. It's so good. Look, so the way you do this, you push the wave in with your Firestorm. The downside to pushing is that it's now at their tower, and it's harder to trade with them. It's harder to hit. They get natural regen and armor, and like they get an extra 1 health regen and 3 armor. She has 11 armor now under tower. This is harder. They're harder to die because you can't dive them under tower. If they're back here, you can maybe do more. You're closer to your tower, so if they go on you, you're safer. You want the creep wave to be here. They want the creep wave to be here. When you're a natural pusher, you can't keep it here. So the best thing to do is you push the wave, because you can't help it, you just push it harder, then pull this camp. If the creep wave's here, you push it, then you pull to get it back here again. You push it because you can't help it, so you're going to just push it as hard as you can so they can't contest you once it's pushing. Like, they walk up, they're going to get Firestormed. And Tidehunter, they're going to get hit by 4 creeps. Sand King, they're standing in Sandstorm. They can't deal with that. So you just get all the farm, and then you pull the next wave. And what you're going to see when this happens is, and I'll just run it through for you. I wish I had like a game example, but I looked and I couldn't find one before. Jackie. Okay, so this wave, let's say you did it this way, right? Let's wait for them to meet. So you walk up and Firestorm. Good, there you go. You walk up and Firestorm and stand in it. Look, you're getting farm. You get half the wave. It's not as impactful at level 1. Once you hit level 3 or 4 or 5, it's really doing a lot of damage. You pull this camp, because you don't pull it here. It's not great. You should be pulling this. So you Firestorm the wave, and ideally your support does this for you, so you can stand here and get some of the CS or XP. But if they don't do it, you do. So walk down here, pull the wave. Then, if you look, if this was a level 2 Firestorm, this wave is still completely alive. All 4 creeps. They're under tower. You've pulled the wave. You walk up. You Firestorm the next creep wave under their tower. And then this PA is just stuck here, farming your wave with no creeps to help for the next 10-15 seconds. This whole creep wave dies. So you got all the farm from this wave, or this last wave. You're getting all the farm from this wave from your next Firestorm. And PA is only getting 1 wave of farm. So you're getting 2 waves of farm in XP. She's only getting 1 wave of farm. You do that 2 or 3 times, the lane is over. You've won the lane. The game is so much easier. But instead, you don't pull here. What ends up happening is the creep wave equilibrium is up here, next to their tower. You suddenly have no mana, because you didn't buy any regen, unfortunately. The key to these heroes, by the way, is always have mana and life. If you're playing these heroes like Tidehunter, Sand King, or Underlord and you don't have mana to cast your Sandstorm, you don't have mana to cast your Firestorm, you're completely neutered in lane. There's nothing you can do. And you're going to see that here. You have one Tangle left, you have no mana. So what's going to happen is you can't contest this wave at all. I mean, you're still only level 2, so you can kind of, but you're so much worse. Because you don't have mana. You need to have mana for this. This is why a stick would be very good in this lane, by the way. You have extra mana. But look, you walk all the way back. You can't push this wave. Like you haven't pulled the waves at their tower. It's so hard to contest because it's at their tower. And now here's an issue. You recognize you need to pull. You should have pulled before. You're like, oh man, I can't farm this. The waves at their tower, and I should have pulled this before. You recognize the mistake, and you try to fix it by pulling now. But the issue here is that if we go to player perspective, this is a big issue. If we go to player perspective, what's going on with the wave right now? Can you tell me? Where's the wave at? You decide, like, okay, the wave's here, it's kind of even. You decide now I'm going to pull. When is the next time we get information about the wave? And by the way, you used Soul Ring and then didn't cast Firestorm, but I'm sure you were aware of that. You just kind of lost 200 health for no reason. It happens, so. You pull. This is the next time we see the creep wave. When you're pulling, the most important thing is knowing what's happening with the creep wave. You need to know where the enemy heroes are. You need to know what the creep wave's doing. If you were to look, and this is why it's important, I'm going to show you. This is a bad pull. And this is going to show you why. So, if you look right now, you're not pulling yet. You look right now, this wave is pushing. These two creeps, they're going to die. Look, they die, the wave pushes, and then this creep wave, if you look, this creep's going to die. They're going to end up meeting right about here. It's like the perfect spot for you. This is like the dream creep equilibrium spot. If the creeps end up here, you just sit and farm it. Like if they contest you, you have a tower right here. You're 10 mana. I mean, ideally, you'd have more mana because you buy mangoes, but you're about to have enough anyway. You just Firestorm, and you're fine. This is a great. You can't die. You can farm without being afraid of dying. That's the key. But instead, and you can deny some of these. Instead, you pull. And now what's going to happen? You try to contest it because you think you're stronger, but they're level 3 or level 2. They just got 2 waves of XP that you didn't because you backed up to grab the Soul Ring. You're not going to be able to contest this, for one. But what you're going to see is PA is going to be able to farm this completely free farm. And on top of that, she's going to get the big creep and the little creep. She farms the camp and the wave. And you're stuck taking 300 damage under tower from these creeps because you're tanking creeps now. Instead of just standing near the creeps and zoning her away with Firestorm, getting half of them denied, getting some of the CS, you're only going to get half the CS under tower, because CSing under tower can be hard. You're going to take 300 damage from tanking the creeps, or your tower is going to take damage, and PA is going to free farm all at the same time, because you pulled when the wave was already pushing into you and where you wanted the wave to be. So whenever you pull the big camp, it's good to pull the big camp when you're these pushing heroes, but only when the wave's pushing. If the wave is pushing into you, don't pull. In fact, your job is to not let them pull this. If the wave's here, they want to pull like this, they want to pull like this, or they want to pull like that, they're going to try to pull if they're good. And your job is to stop them and keep the wave equilibrium here. Ideally, your support does it. You have a drow carry as a support. So that doesn't happen this game. But now, if you look, you're stuck way back at your tower, but the creep wave's up there instead of here. So there are 2 main issues in this lane that make you get crushed. 3, actually. But one is only a result of the other 2. So first off, you don't pull effectively. You push, and then you don't pull, and then PA and CM get free farm, and you get stuck with the bad equilibrium. The second part, I want to see the first time you buy regen in this lane. You start off with a salve and some tangos. Minute and a half. You haven't bought any. This is where I'd be buying some, for sure. If not already, like before now. You still haven't bought any regen. You're at 400 life. You buy a soul ring, which is the opposite of regen. And here, 4 minutes in, you still haven't bought any regen. And you have a soul ring. And you're sitting on 200 life and like 20 mana. You're completely useless in lane right now as you stand because you have no life and mana. What are you doing? You're queuing the wave and then backing so far up you don't get any XP from the wave. You might get a CS if PA's bad and messes up his denies. But you're getting 0 gold, 0 XP because you have no life, no mana. At this point, just go to base, buy a salve and a mango while you're there, come back, and then keep fighting for farm. You get Void Spirit gets a good gank, which helps a lot. But at this point, the lane's super hard. You have this soul ring that's already going to sap all your health, right? You have no regen to compensate that. The very next thing you buy ends up being this 800 gold item. Ring of Tarrasque. Ring of Tarrasque and Soul Ring are great together. But it's not worth it, really. This game, like, it works once you get the Ring of Tarrasque, but by then the lane's over. You've thrown the lane by doing this. You have no regen. This works if you were already, like, doing all these other things. But so those are the two first things. The third thing is that you went Soul Ring. And Soul Ring is not always a problem to buy. It's right a lot of the time. It's why it's an item that exists, and even pro players buy it. The reason that you buy Soul Ring, though, is because you feel the need to spam an ability in lane to exist in the lane. An example is Mars. You watch BSJ, so you know, ideally, how he builds Mars. He likes to go Bracers, Vladimirs, Deso, Phase Boots, BKB. He just mans up, and is like this big hulking beast that they can't walk up and hit because he has so many items and so much strength and armor and health, and it just messes you up. But if you lose lanes Mars, you'll notice, and he points this out all the time, he goes Tranquils and Soul Ring. And Tranquils do almost nothing. Tranquils do nothing for Mars. Some move speed maybe, but he has to go Soul Ring. So what does he do when he buys Soul Ring? He buys something to help offset the health cost, which is Tranquils. This game you elect for this Ring of Tarrasque, but it takes way too long to get. By then, they have a 2-level advantage. Like after this creep, it's a 2-level advantage. Wait 1 creep. Like 2-level advantage over you guys. Level 3 and 4, 5 and 4. Like it's bad. It's bad. And if you look at the CS, it's even more horrible. The lane's over at this point. So you going first item Soul Ring, very bad. Rushing this also, I mean, it ends up working okay, but like, just go to base, man. Go to base, buy some tangos or a ring of regen. Like, ideally, I would say buy 2 ring of regens, then you can turn it into a pipe and a mech. But this game pipe's not great. 2 ring of regens and a soul ring normally works out okay. Okay, it's 300 gold instead of 650. You get 1 less health regen, but like, you can actually turn this into something. You end up with this at the end of the game. Wasted 700 gold for 150 life mid game. It's not great. I just don't like the Soul Ring buy. I feel like if you had gone a more regen, if you bought more salves and tangos and mangoes, you could have contested the lane more, and maybe you'd have 20 or 30 CS. PA would have like 10 less CS. The lane would be a lot more playable. You wouldn't have to go Soul Ring in this whole, like, I'm not a manly man anymore build. You could go like a buckler. This used to be the item. You can go phase boots. Is probably what I would say, or go brown boots chainmail. Chainmail would be great. You go chainmail, uh, and then arcanes. You know, arcanes and chainmail, and you're unkillable. Just keep buying tangos as the lane goes on. The way that they kill you is like they jump on you and hit you a bunch, but they have to whittle you down first. These heroes, you have atrophy ore and 10 natural armor with the chainmail. They can't kill you just by jumping you, especially with Firestorm. If you have arcane boots and you can spam Firestorm when they jump you, they just can't kill you. So the way they kill you is they harass you down to about half health and then they jump you. So if you have enough mana for Firestorm and enough life to not be half health, you just never die. You can do whatever you want in this lane. You will literally just win games. Entire games will be won just because you bought more region than them in lane. If you can buy more tangos, like he even tries to give you tangos. This Drow, who ends up horrible this game, like Drow support carry, he ends up understanding this problem that you're having before you do. How does he end up playing? He goes 6-10. Like this Drow recognizes before he's buying tangos. You don't have anything. You need to buy more region and mangoes. And like, it's a big problem. If you have one tango left, you need to already have a tango coming. If you have half mana and a mango, you need to have another mango coming. If you expect to use your last region piece in the next 40 seconds, you need to have more coming. Because it takes about 30 seconds for it to come to you, right? So you need to have it before you need it, so that once you need it, you already have it. You don't have to wait and miss one wave, because that eventually one creep makes a difference in a lane, right? At the highest level in Mortal play, whatever team, like whichever side of the lane hits level 2 first, can just instantly win the lane there, because they'll press that advantage. They press the slightest advantage at that MMR bracket. At yours, they're not going to, but it's a good habit to get into of not just giving away a free creep wave or a free creep or free 2 or 3 waves. In this game, you end up giving away like 3-4 creep waves of free XP and gold because you didn't have enough health and mana to walk up to contest it. Like if you spend 90 gold on tangos that allows you to get 3 extra CS, they've already paid for itself, and you may have denied a creep or 2. Like it's so worth it if you look at it, right? Each tango is like 200 health, so 90 gold for 600 health. It's a lot. I think it's more than that, honestly. But anyway, we're going to fast forward through the rest of the lane because the lane's really hard at this point. PA is very strong, level 7 while you're level 5. She has 50 CS while you have 20, so the lane's very hard to play now. At this point, you're just playing as if you're losing the lane, which is a thing you need to get good at as well. It's a skill. Your job in a losing lane, for the most part, is just get whatever CS you can, and don't let them take tower. If they ever leave the lane, then you can try and press an advantage and like catch back up. But just don't let them take tower, and get whatever CS you can without dying. Just don't die. So at this point, I'm thinking just firestorm the wave and then go jungle nearby. This wave, I'm just firestorming and running away. Playing aggressive here, you're a madman. Someone can gank for you, or they can play bottom and then Crystal Maiden teleports away, and then it's just PA, and then you can go on PA because it's 2v1. But until any of these things happen, you just push the wave, man. Just push the wave, get what you can. You lost the lane, nothing you can do about it right now. You can maybe get back in the game. The beauty of Underlord is that he is so good at playing from behind. If he gets behind, this is why he's so good for new players, and anyone can play Underlord. If he gets behind, he really doesn't care. He does the same thing other way. He's gonna walk up and be tanky and press Firestorm on a wave, and that wave's gonna push, and there's nothing they can do about it. You're just gonna farm. He's like a Viper. Okay, what Viper does
Is if he gets behind, right? He just presses another toxin on a few creep waves and a few neutral camps. He's back in the game. You kill Viper 10 times in lane, he's still going to be able to press W on a wave and push it out. It's the same thing with Underlord. They're both great for new players because even if you kill them 8 times and they get 2 CS in lane, and they can just press Q and they're back in the game eventually. They keep doing that. So here's the thing that I think is a problem as well. You need to you go on this Dragon Knight, which I guess it's fine. You're saying, hey, you can't farm here when it's just you. But once he's at his tower, it's a little scary to me because Dragon Knight as a hero, and you'll learn these things, right? As you play Dota, you'll learn the strengths of heroes at different timings. Dragon Knight as a hero, especially in mid Dragon Knight, 15 minutes in, he's super hard to go on. If he's at his tower, you don't go on him. You don't tower dive a Dragon Knight. You don't tower dive a Bristleback. Like 15 to 25 minutes in, it's super hard to do. Because what's going to happen is people will TP in because they're unkillable. You can't kill them, and then you'll die. You can maybe go on him if he's at your tower, because then no one can TP in and save him and kill you. But if he's all the way up here, you're just going to get teleported in on and die. So that's just knowing the strength of Dragon Knight and how hard he is to kill. You'll learn these things. Just don't tower dive Dragon Knights, don't tower dive Bristlebacks, and don't tower dive Timber Saws. You don't really want to initiate on them early, unless they've maxed out their passives and their tanky boy stuff. I think here it ends up working out, but this is again another mistake. Most of the time you end up feeding here. You're just lucky that you have 4 heroes. I think teleporting out there was a mistake, but that was just a heat of the moment judgment call. I can't get mad at those. You'll read situations better and play mechanically better as you play. There's no real teaching that. It's like, you know, play more. Like, get more last hits. Don't miss that CS. Like, that's not going to help. Yeah. So here, this is different, right? You're going on this Dragon Knight, but you're not way up here. You're at your own tower. He's out of position. They're showing 2 heroes mid. Now you can go on him. And I think you end up killing him here. This is solely because he's not at his own tower getting an extra health regen, 3 armor, and have heroes teleporting in to kill you. It's a lot easier to kill him. Now that's good. I think you just saw PA TP in, so now you want to go aggressive on PA because she's stuck here. So a good team would start rotating heroes here to force her away. Even though you lost lane and she's really strong, she's a PA. 20 minutes in with no items. Really, no items. She's got like some damage, but she doesn't do much. Really, she's a carry. She doesn't want to fight. She's going battle fury, so you rotate heroes in. And I think you end up doing that, and you kill her, which is really, really good. That puts you back in the game. Look at this. You kill her, the game is suddenly so much harder for them. You even take the tower off this. You high five. Hell yeah. You know, the moment you saw PATP to safe lane, at 20 minutes in, she should die. This was the first teleport mistake of the game that I saw. I don't see a reason to teleport here. The only reason you ever use a teleport scroll is because it is a time-sensitive manner that you need to get there as soon as humanly possible, and I just don't see it being important here. This wave's pushed in. Someone's got to respond to it, and they haven't yet. Right? There's no wave for you hitting this creep wave. The nearest thing you're teleporting to do is maybe take mid, right? I'm assuming that's what you did because the first thing you do when you teleport is you start walking up to the tower. But you don't have to teleport there. When you teleported, you were here. Instead of teleporting, this is about the same distance, is it not? Maybe slightly longer, but like 4 or 5 seconds, which sometimes that can matter, but here, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that time sensitive. Someone's got to defend this. It's going to take time. You've got some time. Just walk past this creep wave. or this neutral camp, firestorm it, walk back down, or this camp's probably safer, honestly. Firestorm this camp, farm it, then walk down here. It's honestly probably even, it's not quite closer, but the extra distance is like from here to here. This is the extra distance you had to walk. And by teleporting, that means you can't teleport here. If they try to push this wave, you can't teleport here. Like you're just stuck here. And you're spending 90 gold to get there. It's just not great. I think walking there would have been better. But hey, you've got a mech. This is good. I like this. I don't like going on Dragon Knight, but I can tell you watch BSJ because you went and took top tower. First instinct you had, go mid. Let's push mid now. That is such a BSJ thing to do. But the problem here, and you got a mech. It's a timing. It's a big power spike timing, so you can fight. Problem is, you're going on a Dragon Knight under a tower at 20 minutes in again. And what happens? You almost lose your mid hero. You have almost no kill threat on a Dragon Knight at 20 minutes in under his own tower. So now you've teleported here, and you're just stuck here in this awkward situation of both heroes on each side of the river. This happens all the time. Not sure what to do. You're just going to both push out the wave, and that's it. What you do here is as soon as you see that there are 4 heroes mid, you just leave. They can't take this tower. If they do, you TP back. This is a great place for you to fight. They don't want to do that. If they do, they die. Instead, they all TP'd mid, waste their time, just leave, and push out these waves again. They had 4 heroes mid, go kill the Bristleback alone. Bristleback's hard to initiate on, but if he's completely alone at your tier 1, kill him. Nearest tower is back here. I hope you can kill him. He is pretty strong this game, though, so it is a risk. But, I mean, you could push out the side waves. Just make them leave. Waste their time. Make them feel like they came teleported mid for nothing. That's just being more efficient than them. And that was just a bad TP, though. Now here, again, this is the difference, right? This is another perfect example of a difference between fighting under their tower against the tanky hero and at your own tower. If you've noticed, every time you fought under their tower against Dragon Knight or Bristleback or any tank hero, you end up either dying, someone dies, someone almost dies, you don't kill them, bad things happen. But here, whenever Dragon Knight was fighting your tower, you killed him, killed another hero, you took tower. Here, they're in the hardest place in the map for them to take at this point in the game, besides triangle. If they try to take triangle, that's even worse for them. But this area is the worst place for the enemy to fight, especially when your tier 1's up. Once they're up here, it's easier for them, but if they haven't taken over triangle yet, this whole area, including mid, it's the worst place for them to fight, best place for you to fight. Super good. Really up here is great, but this is a horrible place for them to fight because you're right next to a tier 2 tower. It gives 5 armor and 3 regen. You're automatically a lot stronger here. You have teleports. Their nearest tower is way over here. So if anyone teleports in, they're screwed. They're going to have to walk twice as far. You don't have to walk anywhere. You're already in the fight. This is just a terrible place for them to fight. You have vision. It's just bad. Okay? So you take this fight here, which I am a super big fan of. Even though you're initiating on Dragon Knight, which isn't great, you want to be going on this Crystal Maiden. Honestly, I think the Sports Spirit's a smurf because of how good his movements are. He's super good. I don't think he actually is, but like he's playing above his MMR with target choice. Look, he's not going on Dragon Knight until he's already dead. Basically, he killed the Crystal Maiden first. His skills are good. You're going on a Dragon Knight, but the location is just so good, it doesn't matter. So picking the right fights is key, and I think that's the difference. Just running into them under their tower whenever they have a Dragon Knight Bristle, which are 2 of the strongest heroes at 20 minutes in. You throw in a Timber Saw, your game's over at 20 minutes in. Beastmaster, bye. Now, you can't fight them at that time. Because they're fighting in such a horrible place, 3v5, they all die, you take mid. My MR, this doesn't happen. You just lose the game because they don't fight you there. They go bottom and fight you there. That was a good fight to take. It's a difference between taking the fight here and here. And it's a difference between taking a fight immediately after pushing out waves versus, you know, having one wave pushed in, showing two heroes on other sides of the map, and then trying to take a Dragon Knight under tower, and it's just not good. This is the other teleport I wanted to talk about. That was just the grossest thing I've ever seen. It's so bad. I don't understand why. So right here, immediately you took this tower. My first thought is push out the side lanes, right? You took the mid tower, push out the side lanes because they're all pushed in. Which, I mean, it looks like you're thinking that way as well. Your carry is bottom, pushing up bottom. Your mid lane's top. So you can both side lanes are going to be pushed in. You just kind of have the freedom to do what you want. So right now you can just kind of jungle. This is a freedom of taking some safe farm because all the waves are being pushed in by other heroes. This is like you have the freedom to just do whatever you want. So you can jungle on your way somewhere. There's no pressure anywhere. You have time. You teleport. You teleport right next to your carry, where he's already safely farming right next to his tower. Now that they see you teleporting bottom, what they should do is just run top and kill your Void Spirit who's suddenly alone. This is at best a 5v3 for them. Could be a 5v1. They kill the Void Spirit, take the tower, because you don't have a teleport. And you'll notice immediately all their heroes end up going top, trying to kill the Void Spirit right here, and then they take the top tower. Because you teleported bottom, mostly. Now, this is MMR that might not be why they end up going top, but that is the correct thing to do. So you recognize that you've taken the top tower, you've taken the enemy mid tower. Next objective naturally is Roche and the bottom tier 1. You want to take those objectives. So you start warding for that. I like that. But the issue is you don't have a teleport now. So if they push top, you can't like go there without using your ult. And then you just kind of panic teleport without looking. This is another bad teleport. The reason this is bad because you don't look before you teleport. You should know why you're teleporting and what happens if you don't teleport. Think about what happens if you do teleport or show up to this fight right here. Void Spirit's hard to catch, right? Let's see when you make the call. Right here, you see 3 heroes top. Okay. Draws Shadow Blade, she might get out. If she doesn't, big whoop. There's no saving her. By the time you get there, if she's dying, she's dying. Now this guy, he's hard to kill. You might be able to teleport and save him. But there are 4 heroes top. Bunch of heroes top, anyway. The Bristleback and the Dragon Knight are the strong heroes on their team at 22 minutes, right? And who are the weak heroes? They're Carrie, who went Battle Fury first item. So she doesn't want to fight you. The Dragon Knight and the Bristleback do. So avoid these heroes. Go to this hero. Also, you have a Shadow Shaman who has ult off cooldown. You can give him the mana to ult. He ults the tower. They all leave because they're like, oh no, our tower? It doesn't matter if Void Spirit and Drow both die here at all if you take the tower. Towers matter more than heroes. So if you're going to trade these 2 heroes for this tower, do it. Because what happens is you take this tower, they're still taking this, you just keep going, you push in mid. They might take the tower, but say you took a tower. It's even now. Instead, here's what happens, right? You panic. Right here, you're like, oh god, there are a bunch of heroes top, I should be there, right? No, but you think that. You teleport in instead of helping push bottom. You didn't look at the context at all. Void Spirit's teleporting out. He's safe. You can cancel this ult, by the way. Press cancel, you're bottom. This is a big issue because you don't have a teleport. If you had a teleport, you could just teleport to the tower once they got to the tower. Shadow Shaman could stay bottom, throw the ult on the tower, and then, Shackle if PA shows up. She is stuck here. Once you give him mana for his ult and stuff, he can do this. You can teleport here. But you don't look at the context. You teleport in, you die. This guy now can't take and pressure this tower. They can take top tower, and then suddenly the game looks a lot harder. You go from a 5k lead, and you'll notice very quickly the lead drops. Void Spirit even shows up bottom. He recognizes that this Void Spirit seriously is impressing me. So he recognizes there are 4 heroes top, PA showing on Ward's bottom. She is only at Battle Fury, she's weak. Go pressure her while her team's busy, so he comes bottom. That's the correct play. You should be bottom with him, not top where her whole team is and she's not. Pressure the carry, not the enemy team that is strong. You go for the enemy heroes that are weak and keep them, fight them. Force rotations. Force them to react to you, you don't react to them. So what you're seeing now is anything that happens top now is the consequence of you teleporting in and not pushing bottom. So you lose the tower. What you're going to notice is now your Juggernaut dies because they lost the tower and he's not paying attention. You can't farm here now. This area is now officially theirs. As soon as they place a ward down, it's theirs. And I think they do. Right here. I think they do. Yep. This area is officially theirs. Juggernaut's lost the triangle. This area is a horrible place for him to farm. This game's a lot harder now, and he went Battle Fury build, so he wants to be farming. Your main goal now is you're really in trouble now, honestly. You're just playing from behind now. Like it says you're in a 3k gold lead, but they have map control. So your idea now is you need to take some good fights and split them up and get this bottom tower. You need to open up the map. This tower is the key. Roche is kind of helpful as well. But you shouldn't have left bottom. You should have just pushed it. PA can't fight both you and Shadow Shaman. If anyone TPs, you just ult up here then. And then it's a 4v3 top. But even then, it's probably just better to push bottom. Shadow Shaman's ult's really good. Pushing. Right here is another bad movement that I wanted to point out. You just need to have a little bit more map awareness. So you see that their Bristleback is mid. He's a very strong hero. Is this a glitch? No. You see Crystal Maiden here under the Sentry. And you see Dragonite bottom. So their 2 strongest heroes, again, are mid and bottom. They're not top. Right? PA, she's playing with her team, which is like, okay, I guess. You can't really do much if she's with her team. But essentially, you see 4 heroes bottom. Bristleback kind of wants to go bottom too, you can tell. They're trying to kill this guy. What are you scared of? You see 4 heroes. You're an Underlord, super tanky hero with greeds. The only person missing is Wind Ranger. A support Wind Ranger who's level 11 with an urn and brown boots. Why are you running away? Go push the wave again. What I'm going to show you happens now. You push this wave. You need to push this wave. Right now it's firestormed. Right? Wait. And then it's dead. Wave's pushing. Wave's pushing. You firestorm here. Wave's pushing. Wave's pushing. You're at their tower. Suddenly, Void Spirit is a lot safer because they've all left to defend this tower. Or if only one person leaves, then you teleport in and you take a 5v4 fight and you win the fight. You keep pushing. You'd be at the tower now. Because these creep waves meet now. You'd be at the tower. And you recognize it now. But you backed up a little too early. Drow noticed and went and pushed. Drow noticed and you didn't and went and pushed top. You recognize a little bit later, you start pushing mid because you see 5 heroes mid, but you could have recognized a little bit sooner. You can only jungle if you have the luxury to. Otherwise, your job is to push out these waves and keep them off your towers. Pushing out waves is what wins you games. So now I'm a little bit scared. Okay, now I'm not again because there are 5 heroes, right? You see all their strong heroes bottom. So keep pushing. Keep going. Force a teleport as soon as someone teleports. That's important anyway. You can go back bottom. or you can go help kill someone, fight somewhere. As long as you're forcing them to leave. Okay, see? Bristleback's TPing. As soon as that's finalized, teleport bottom. They can no longer take a fight here. It's a bad place to fight, but they just lost their strongest hero. Bristleback right now is their strongest. Like PA Desolator, sure. But Bristleback at 25 minutes in, you just avoid him. He's so strong right now. PA teleported top. Bristleback's here. Go fight him bottom. They have Dragonite, super weak Rin Ranger, and Crystal Maiden's dead. It's a 3v2. If just you three show up, it sucks that these two died. That makes it harder. But it's going to slow down their push at the very least. You go down here. You can kill the wave, slow down their push. If they even can push, teleport now. You're a little bit slow on it though. But you did the right thing eventually. You were a little bit late, but you did the right thing. In the initial replay, there's actually a five or 6 minute window where I was just like, do this, and then you immediately did it. And I'm like, you're reading my mind. And you did it again, and you did it again. You did it like 5 times. And you just like super impressed me. But right now, until then, it's like you make a couple mistakes. But overall, your ideas are good. You're just a little bit slow, and you need to speed it up a little bit. You'll get better at it. The more you practice, it'll become more and more autopilot. You'll see things faster and faster. But I don't see too many massive mistakes after this point for a while. Now mid and top are being pushed in. You have 2 other heroes here that can be doing this. This guy's getting picked off. The moment this happens, you're like, okay. Right here. This is no longer where you want to be on the map. A couple of reasons. Their whole team's bottom, except for the carry. The carry's alone top. Go top, kill the carry. So that's a thing. Also, this area of the map is the worst place for you to farm, or fight. It's the worst place for your team to fight. This is the worst place for their team to fight. So not only is their carry in the most unsafe part of the map for them, and the safest for you, the rest of their team and you are in the unsafe part of the map. So just leave this area, go kill the PA, push out the mid and top. They'll respond, then you can go bottom. You just keep playing this cat and mouse game until you win. But instead what happens is you end up just committing to this idea that now that we're 4v4, not even, you're 3v4 bottom, right? You don't have Juggernaut, PA's top, but like they have 4 heroes bottom. You have 3. You're gonna hard commit. You need to be, whenever you make these decisions, the 2 things you need to look at is the people that are around you stronger than the people that they have available for this push. And you need to be looking at where else could I be? What could I be doing there? So here, they're definitely stronger than you. But on top of that, you could be top instead, pushing out these middle and top wave. Did middle get pushed? No. Yeah, middle's all the way at the tower. Top's all the way at the tower. Their carry's top. Go kill the carry, push out these waves. You're good. You don't have to fight bottom. They have 4 heroes here. You can do this later. Instead, you end up kind of just feeding a little bit. It's not great. You're a little bit too slow and you die because of it. But the rest of your team, luckily, notices and recognizes this in time, and they pressure PA out and they push out these waves for you. But this is just a mistake you made. They recognized it a little bit quicker. Your supports aren't doing it, but you should be recognizing that this triangle is now your baby. The triangles are the king of the game in the mid game. Okay, both teams are trying to take control of the other team's triangle. So you want to either ward here or ward here. Just get vision of both of them if you can. Ideally, depends on how strong each team is. But let's find you. Okay. Both waves are pushed in. This is something I pointed out in the replay. So wait. Yeah, here's another thing, by the way, just small. When you go up top, you walk through this. Whenever you're walking around the enemy outpost, hold Alt It should be in your settings selected that you can, there's an option for it somewhere. Where it's options. You hold Alt, and it shows attack range. If you have that enabled, maybe it's spawn boxes, you can see the range at which they get vision of you. You could simply choose to walk like an extra half of a second and they don't get to see you for an extra long time by the time you get here anyway. It just gives them more time to react. But what was I going to mention before? So the other thing was once you have two waves pushed in, right now you have mid pushed in and you have top pushed in, right? So they have zero information because two waves are pushed in. They have very little information. You have so much more information. Whenever this happens, this is one of the best times to smoke gank, so you want to be looking at that. Right here, I would be thinking, guys, I'm going to push in mid one more time, and then we can smoke through the top jungle because PA just TP'd top, and we'll kill her, while whoever's dealing with mid is dealing with mid. So you push in mid with Firestorm, you back up a little bit, smoke, and go top, and you get a free kill, a good fight. It's great. They don't want to fight here, you do. You don't want to fight here, they do, right? It's the difference. You want to be here, they want to be here. So if you're taking fights here and smoking in here, that's great. Good job. Do that. So right now, what I would have liked to see is instead of going top, like it's good initial instinct to go top and pressure this teleported PA. But you don't have enough heroes, and your team doesn't recognize that quickly enough, so you just can't kill her. She has a PA deso timing, so it's not going to work out great. But just for future reference in games, the ideal is once mid and top is pushed out, you can smoke through and fight in an area you want to fight. Maybe get a pick off first. It's just a great time to smoke once two waves are pushed in. And conversely, if you have two waves pushed into your side and two towers are pushed into the tower, you need to be playing really scared because they're probably either smoking or roshing or they're taking your triangle or something. You need to be scared. Back alive again. It's player perspective. Got to take a leak or something. And spilled your milk. Cat caught on fire. Had to put him out. Alright, so. Suddenly, you have a decision to make. Is this a good fight or not? Do you help this fight? Or do you just leave and go split push somewhere? Is there any hope of winning this fight? You're kind of forced to fight it, honestly, just because you walked to it already, but the answer is that this is a good fight, really. If you look, where is the fight taking place? It's in this area. This little square, like triangle shape. That's why it's called the triangle. This triangle is very good for you to fight in, and this whole rest, their triangle here, is good for them to fight in. So this next to your tier 2 is a very good place to fight. You have a high ground advantage, or not high ground. You have a tower to teleport to. They're very far away from towers, so buybacks very hard for them to utilize. And you have bonus armor, things like that. Again, this should be a good fight. But on the other side, you don't have vision of a lot of heroes. There's a high ground here that they have control of, so it can be iffy. Those are just things to keep in consideration. I don't remember how this fight ends up turning out, but these are just things that you need to look at whenever you're looking at whether a fight's good or not. Yeah, so this fight ends up being kind of like a tie, which makes sense, right? Because we weren't sure if it was a good fight or not. It's in a great location, but they're stronger than us right now. They have a Bristleback Dragonite at 30 minutes in. Your Juggernaut's kind of weak with just a Battle Fury. PA's hit her timing, so you don't really want to fight. If PA was there, it was a stomp, but like at this point, so good location at this point is important, but they're super strong compared to you now, right? The PA is a Deso, Juggernaut's just a walking creep. He only has a Battle Fury, Mask of Madness at this point. This is pretty late. If you look at his net worth, he's just too far behind as a Battle Fury hero. This doesn't count 4,000 gold gone. He has 6,000 net worth. He's a support. So this is just because he didn't have much space. This tower got taken. They took control of the triangle a lot, and he wasn't doing well about pushing out waves much. But at this point, you need to recognize you can't fight them head on 5v5. Just because they're ahead, their heroes are stronger than yours right now. You're like 4v5 right now. So the key is to force rotations and then fight when you have like a 5v4 advantage. That's how you win these fights. You force rotations. So like you see that they're like just kind of chilling mid. You could go one more wave. PA is the really scary one for you, and maybe DK. But I would have just kept pushing top. This is still kind of a yikes. The moment they start going high ground, you can go back mid. No one's pushing up top. Eventually, it just pushes itself, which is great because you pushed the wave before, but it could be a lot faster. Once it's a high ground situation, it's typically no longer your job to push out the side waves as a hero like Underlord, particularly because Underlord is an insanely good high ground defender. Heroes that are insanely good high ground defenders should not be leading base and ratting. There should be heroes like Juggernaut that can spin TP away and can't really do much to defend high ground. So if you notice, you just cast these two abilities and they back up. Juggernaut being here, look how much he does. Look, he's being so helpful. No. Who's being helpful? Who's killing the wave? You are. Who's making it hard to walk up with the roots and stuff? You are. Look, they're rooted. They're scared to walk up. So you can be here while Juggernaut pushes. It's great. Before, though, you're not high ground defending. You could just be pushing harder. And see, the moment this gets to their tower and you see this Wind Ranger TP, you're thinking, should we leave base? Can we leave base now that Wind Ranger's gone? Is she important? She's super weak. No. But hey, PA's gone now. Let's leave base. Go. Go. Smoke out. Find someone to kill. Because their two strong heroes are dead. Your Void Spirits respawning. They're not dead, but they're gone. Their strongest hero's gone. PA's gone. Wind Ranger's gone. It's not a big deal, but it's 3v5 now. 3v4. Let's get out of base. Drow's not a real character on our team. Let's get out of base. Go find him. Void Spirit, our strongest heroes alive. Smoke. Go, go, go. Get out, get out. Let's go play some wards. Like, Shadow Shaman recognizes it. It's a little bit balls deep. Like, go, 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 go. They're all gone. He's trying to make it happen. You're pushing out waves. Like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And what you'll notice is that now that these people have been forced to rotate, you win fights. So look, Crystal Maiden and Bristleback end up both dying here because you force rotations. Bristleback doesn't because he's a Bristleback. I remember 2 heroes dying and he died, which is great. But you force rotations, suddenly you're winning the fights. As long as you're not fighting 5v5, you can win these fights, even when they're 10,000 gold ahead and they're trying to high ground you. They almost throw because they tried to high ground too soon a couple times. Now look at this PA feeds because she's alone. This is just good. And then you guys take mid tier 2. I honestly wouldn't have gone for tier 2. I would have gone for Rax. Or, for Roche. But I think you could have lived if you just walked away. But stuff happens. But you won that fight because you forced rotations instead of just fighting into them. Stall them until the wave on the sides are pushed out by other heroes or creeps or whatever, and then leave base when the enemy team leaves to push them back out. That's how you play from behind. You did it really well there, and I liked that. Let's speed it up. Back to player perspective. But yeah, I would have been pinging, spam pinging, buying a smoke myself, whatever I had to do. Get out there. Now you're in a hard predicament because none of the waves are pushed out. But there's not much you can do about it. You're a high ground defender, so you can defend high ground here. They're doing this wrong. Just for information's purposes, informational and educational. Whenever you're ahead slightly and you feel like you should go high ground, you don't. the way you win from that position and what their mistake was. I mean, they could have had PA and DK with them too. Maybe they could have done it. But the correct play is just ward up here, anywhere in there. Maybe throw a high ground ward here or here, and just protect it. And farm the jungle, push in the waves all the way. If they leave base, kill them. I'm talking from Dire's perspective. If you guys leave base, the Radiant team leaves base, they kill you. That's the correct thing to do. They don't just force high ground. Eventually, they'll get a 15k net worth lead from the jungle camps and the creeps, while you guys just get the waves. Then they'll get a 20, 25, 40, 50,000 net worth lead. They go get Roche. Now they have 50,000 more gold than you and Aegis. Then they can high ground. Yeah, no chance. That's the way to do it. Instead, they try to force it to happen without taking Roche, without getting more of a net worth lead. It's kind of just a misplay on their part. They almost end up throwing there. Just for future reference, don't go high ground unless you're absolutely ready. 100% ready. You have to be able to kill their whole team if there are 5 more of them. Because they're all going to buy back. They're all going to run back and fight you again. The fountain's like right here. So if someone lives with 1 HP, they walk back and they're in again. You got to be able to kill their whole team twice in a row. Like imagine every single one on their team had a Wraith King reincarnate. If you could still beat them, then you can high ground. That's the key. Otherwise, keep farming until you're that strong. Taking Roche, that was a very good call. I think pushing a tower there is not nearly as good. But here's a mistake. This is, I think, the game-losing fight. You're still on the game until this point. Someone calls out, let's go fight bottom. Drow is pushing out top. You guys are pushing out mid. You're kind of split up here. This is bad. Drow's top. There's 4 of you. They're all missing and all alive. This is horrible. I'd be terrified, bro. Look, there are 5 heroes alive. They're none on the map. Mid's pushing into their tower. What are you doing? Get back. Hide. Run away. Sit as 5 heroes in your triangle. Run. You know? But instead, you guys go to the most dangerous part of the map in the game for you right now. You go here. This is the actual worst place for you to be, period. Besides, like, trying to walk up their triangle when there are 5 heroes there. I guarantee you at this point, there's 5 heroes here. I didn't look at this before, but I'm curious to see. Yeah, they're all over here. See? They're not all the way up here yet, but eventually they will be, I'm sure. You'll end up seeing all their heroes here. See, they all end up there because they realize it's a good fight to take. You're not ahead. Just because you have Aegis doesn't mean you can take any fight. Okay, you're going to the worst part of the map to fight. They still have outposts here. You can't fight there. The trick to this fight, you maybe could have taken it in a different situation. Drow's pushing out top. If you played here, you could push out mid and you could push out top. And then as soon as anyone came here, you could smoke through and try and find someone in their triangle because they're pushing out. There's someone top. You can go to their triangle and take a 5v4. Wait till someone important goes top. Smoke down here and get some kills. It's the same principle. Force a rotation, then go fight somewhere else that's important to the enemy team. This is a bad place to fight, but if it's 5v4, their PA's top, then you can fight here, right? And you'll notice, instead you take a fight here, you all die, because you haven't forced rotations yet. Their whole team ends up being here in time. Like Bristleback's mid, but he's right here. He's fast, he can get there. So now this is a 5v5, they're every single one on their team's here. And you don't have a hero. You're down a hero. In fact, I think you're maybe down Shadow Shaman because you died early. That's just a horrible fight. You don't fight there, especially when you're down a hero. You force that other hero. You want 5v4s, not 4v5s, and in better places on the map. So that was a game-losing fight to take. I think that was a horrible movement. And I think you end up just getting high ground racks because of it. Yep. And from here, it's over. But I don't think there's really much else I could touch up on in this game. I think it was played mostly okay in a lot of parts. Some of the parts were a little bit touchy. Some of the teleports, some of the fights you took were good, some bad. I hope I helped teach you like why some fights were good and bad. a lot of your movements, honestly, were very impressive. I can tell you watch a lot of BSJ because you're very good about pushing out the waves. You know, looking for fights when they're split up. I don't know who's making those calls, but if it's you, man, bravo. A lot of these times when you won those fights, it was solely because you forced rotations first and then looked for fights. It was super good. But the main thing about this game is that was the fight taking. Is like understanding if it's a good or bad fight. You guys had a lot of team fights back and forth, a lot of different back and forth team fights. You'd win a fight here, and you'd lose a fight here, and you'd win a fight here, and you'd lose a fight here, and then they'd take your tower, you'd lose a fight here. You know, you're just playing on the wrong sides of the map, not forcing rotations, or they'll force a rotation. You'll let them fight you. The pulling thing was a thing, but Greaves. I liked Greaves this game. He built armor. You built to enable your Juggernaut and Drow with the Vlads and Greaves. I think it was fine. Maybe Halberd's better, especially considering Juggernaut and Drow are having a bad game. You don't really want to focus on enabling them. You need to be strong yourself and shut the enemy team down more. Make some space for your team, but that's debatable. I don't play Underlord. I don't know how good those items are on him right now. I hope you learned something, and I can take a look at more replays. Just let me know. Hope this was educational. And, good luck next. GG's.